Hello Peppers pages, welcome back to everyone. This year has felt so upside down and weird and just absolutely chaotic. I've been trying to take some time for myself to try and sort things out. But all I want to do is talk about books because this is getting crazy. This year has really been a horrible slump for me. I've been trying everything to just get myself back into reading, especially like I used to. In 2022 and 23, I was reading like almost 100 books a year. Behemoth, please. In 23, that slowed down considerably. I think I hit a little over 50 books. Last year, I think I only had about 30 something. This year, we're standing at about 5 books, I believe. Yes, we're standing at about 5 books. The first of which was Shiver by Junji Ito. I enjoyed that a whole lot. There were several short stories from that I had already read out of the collection that I own. I don't know if you can see it back there. But I already own quite a bit of Junji Ito, and so some of those were already in it. Not a big deal to me because one of my favorites is one, and I can't remember the name of it. It's these people start realizing that there's these holes in this mountainside that are shaped like people, and they eventually find the ones that are shaped like them, and they go inside, and the outcome is just horrifying. So I was not disappointed to reread a lot of the short stories that were in there. There were a lot of really good new ones, and I love Junji no matter what. So that was the first book we started off with, and I believe I gave that one a 5. I'm not really gonna rate these right now. I'll probably worry about that later. Probably next April when I do my end of the year reads, because I'm about to do that for 24. Like, you know, this year. Let's just not judge, okay? Thank you. Second, I read Gallows Hill by Darcy Coates. I was actually listening to Gab Smollers talk about the books that she's been reading. If you don't know who she is, she's mostly a game player on YouTube. I enjoy her a whole lot. You should absolutely check her out sometime. But she did a longer video about the books she's been reading, especially over the holidays, and she recommended Darcy Coates, like all these books by her. And her top pick was Gallows Hill. The concept of the story was terrifying. I did enjoy that a whole lot, but I think it was mostly the main character that kind of bothered me. But I won't go too deep into that. We'll make this quick. But I did enjoy Gallows Hill. If you like Darcy Coates, or if you haven't started with that one, I've heard that that's a good one to start with. Other than my little nitpicks, you know, it was a great book, and it was honestly really wonderful to listen to. Third is one that will stick with me probably for the rest of my life, and that is The House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. Oh my god. I've been looking for this book. I actually recorded a really long video about this months back, and my old phone, the storage couldn't handle it anymore. So I never got to post it, and I'll probably do one separately about this because there's just so much to say about it. This story follows a family. This major, like, well-renowned photographer moves his family into this little home. They're trying to make a new start for their family, the parents are trying to save their marriage. And the longer they're in this house, the more they start to realize it's not just a house. It starts changing shape around them. A strange hallway appears where there should be no hallway. And something that's very interesting about this, and that you should know going in, is that this isn't your average book. So it starts off feeling more like a thesis. The story behind the story is really that this old man was writing about this, had learned about it, and was collecting information about it. But you're warned so many times that a lot of this information could be false. And you can tell, like, a lot of it was just made up, but that's the point of it. You know, there is a point behind all the confusion and all the... there's a character who is just taking this over from the older man who had started it, and he just rambles most of the time. There's letters that you have to read from his mom. And while they do fit into the story, I think it's really just to send you on a wild goose chase and to waste your time and make you feel very incoherent, because that's the whole point this book is trying to make, is it's trying to make you feel very disoriented and lost. For example, you have page breaks where it just falls apart in the middle. My favorite being back here, like you have some pages that just have like a couple words on it. But it is very disorienting. There's a lot of moments, especially in the end, when our main character is essentially trapped in the house. As he's exploring through it and trying to get out, I'm sorry. As he's trying to get out of the house, he's stuck in the hallway. It starts turning upside down. The words start changing to fit how he's thinking, how he's feeling, what he's experiencing. And I really loved that aspect of it. It took a long time for me to get through this, just because you get to a point where you're like, okay, like I get the point, let's move on. I really just wanted the family's perspective. But having all the extra stuff tied in is what made it, because you're just like, so, you feel so lost, but you also know exactly what's going on at the same time. And it's just the weirdest feeling I've ever had in my life. But they also have in the back like these little like exhibits and stuff like that. They have letters, they have appendices, all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of this that is never even brought up. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this. So there's a point where the letters from another character's mom become like coded, and I was trying to decipher that. I honestly gave up. I still to this. If you know what this says, it is a letter from the back, and it is May 8th, 1987. If you've ever been able to decipher this, please, for the love of God, tell me what it says, because I spent days trying to write all this out, and I just got so frustrated I quit. I know there's a lot more, like I see a bunch of capitalized letters and stuff. I'm one to love codes. I love cracking things, but this one just, I think I just reached the point where I was like, does this even matter? Am I going to write all this out and figure it out and then get pissed off that it means nothing? So if you know anything about what that means, or what it says, please tell me, because I think that would really still some unease in my head. But I gave this one a 5. It was wonderful. It was trippy. I loved every second about it. It actually spurred me to buy some other books that were more labyrinth themed, because that's what it feels like. I don't know. If you have ever had any interest in The House of Leaves, I really, really recommend that you pick it up and give it a shot. Even if you have to start it and stop it and start it and stop it. It's worth the sludge or trudge or whatever just to get through it. I am glad that I got a colored copy, because every instance of the word house was blue. I don't know. It just kind of added a little bit to it. So that's House of Leaves. The next one I read was Notes from the Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I'm still learning how to say that. I actually read The Brothers Karamazov last year and gave that one a 5. I thought it was wonderful. But Notes from the Underground, I thought was really good. I'm thinking about doing like a separate thing about Dostoevsky eventually. So I won't go too much into detail on that one, but I did enjoy it for it being a very short story. You gonna say hi? Hi, you wanna look up here? Look. It's okay. Behemoth wants to say hi. He's being shy. Oh, he'll just stay like this if I hold him. Last is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I'm not sure how to say that name. Someone please correct me. I bought this one a long time ago, and had really looked forward to reading it. I'm gonna put you down now. Is that okay? Okay, I bought this one a long time ago and have just had it sitting on the back burner. I ended up listening to this through audio, and I'm honestly glad that I did, because I cannot remember the name of the narrator, but she did a fantastic job, gave it a lot of really heavy and creepy atmosphere in the way she read it. And something that I was a little hung up on at first, I was under the impression that this was going to be more of a horror tale, that this was going to be more ghosts and things like that. And I think part of that's because I read The Life and Death of Jane Lawrence. But I'd read that one, and that's kind of what I assumed this would be like. Now I will say I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the Life and Death of Jane Lawrence so much. I really did. I loved how that went. But this one, I think I liked a little bit more because it felt more gothic. there were no ghosts in this. The only ghosts were the memory of Rebecca and the things that the main character in this is trying to live up to. Instead of trying to be her own person and trying to make the best of this bad situation, she finds herself often trying to be like Rebecca. And I think the loss of your own identity, trying to bring back somebody that everyone loved and is now gone, is way more terrifying than facing a ghost in the hallway. And I don't know, I think that's what made this, the ghost was mostly losing your identity, trying to be someone else to please someone else. And that was the most terrifying thing about this. Really good story overall. I hate that I waited so long to read this, but you know, we get there eventually. And I'm happy that I picked this up to talk about it again because I finally found my little Blanche that I've been looking for. But yeah, that was all the books that I've read so far this year. I'm about halfway through Cabin at the End of the World. I think that's very interesting. The first part had me snapping it up really fast. And now that I kind of see that this is going to be like just a long haul for this situation, it kind of slowed down for me, and that's why I picked up Dante's, because I'm doing it as a buddy read. I'm enjoying that really well. The language is a really big barrier for me, but thankfully the edition that I have has like little summaries of each canto that kind of tell you what's going on, and so I'm able to pick up from there. And whoever owned it before me annotated it in a way that, like, there's some things I could be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, or I can answer their questions. So that's been fun. I also have Weave World by Clive Barker going. I started that one off reading it from the library, but I have this weird anxiety thing about actually reading library books because I feel like, oh, I have to get it done and turned back in by a certain time. I just panic, and I think it's stupid, but I ultimately decided to get that one back to the library and start listening to it through audio. So I'm done rambling. I'm always ramble. Things are weird this year. I hope you're all okay. We're gonna be fine. But thank you for listening to this chaos. And as always, I hope you're having a great day, an even better week. And until next time, happy reading.